Heartland family, Pastor Ethan here with another Walk the Path video from Sunday's message. This week we are in Acts chapter 13, 42 through 53, we think. And we could have looked it up, but we decided not to. Anyways, we were talking about Paul and Barnabas speaking in Antioch and kind of being the response of the Gentiles in that area, and then their kind of removal by some of the higher-ups of that area. And so that's what we talked about. So we've got Jared Purden here, who actually led the service this Sunday. But that would be great to kind of exhort us to walk the path and to push us forward. So Jared, what stuck out to you the most as ways we can walk out the message, the verses from this week?
Yeah, I felt really privileged actually to go through this specific passage of scripture that Ethan asked me to do, because it's just a very interesting one. It's one that I feel like strongly exemplifies how we as Christians ought to walk the path. That being a walk in which we are going and meeting with people on the streets, or we're meeting with people in our communities. We are talking with them. We are showing them love. Kind of one of the things that we ended up talking about a lot in the discussion with a lot of the people in the congregation was about speaking truth and love, kind of holding those two things in tandem, making sure to hold steadfast in truth like Paul and Barnabas did when they spoke in the synagogue, not being afraid to do so, not being afraid of being, reprimanded by people who disagree with them, but also doing so in a way that is trying to truly and genuinely reach out to them, not just trying to own them or whatever.
And not trying to win a debate.
Exactly. Yeah. Not trying to win a debate, or not for self-status or something like that, but in a way that's truly trying to invite people over, that's truly trying to appeal to what is written on their hearts and to what God has in store for that person if they're willing to hear.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'd say one of the biggest takeaways that a lot of the congregation I took away from this as well.
That's good. So it's not about winning a debate or an argument. It's about compelling people into the truth. Come into the truth. And we saw in that section where they were the religious leaders were actively attacking Paul and Barnabas and contradicting them actively. But it says they spoke out with boldness, right? They spoke out. They grew bold. I think one translation says they grew bold and said, "Well, if you don't want this, it's your choice, basically."
Yep.
And so I think, that's really good, and especially in the day and age that we're at right now, of kind of the political tensions and stuff. We can have that intimidate us into not speaking the truth boldly. And speaking the truth boldly doesn't mean you're a jerk. It doesn't mean you have to get in people's faces. But when things rise up, there is a temptation, right, to kind of set back and to cower a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is the time for believers to continue just to speak the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ. That He died for you, He loves you, and He wants to be in relationship with you. And ultimately, it's their choice. But we gotta speak the message. How can anyone believe the message unless they hear? And how can they hear unless someone is sent? And so we are sent. We are called to make disciples of all nations. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, those are the things that really stuck out to me. That, and we also talked a little bit about the Greek word for when it talks about how the people who were trying to contradict Paul and Barnabas, how they grew jealous. But actually, you could look at it as the Greek word zelos or zelos, and it really means zeal. And how you can see that zeal, that passion, that kind of that righteous anger almost that you can get, can be kind of used both for good and for bad in a sense. And we need to, being angry and being mad, there definitely is times where that is, that's an appropriate feeling to have, but we need to make sure as Christians, we're always trying to make sure that our moral compass is being directed in the right way, and we're not ever trying to shut down a potential truth that could be spoken to us.
In our zeal, are we, I don't know, maybe a way to put it is, are we like a flame for the Lord? Are we a light for the Lord? But then are we just burning everybody around us, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, you can burn a little too hot, right? And that's where the anger or the zealotry kind of takes over. And so doing it in a way, what is it? Always be ready to give a defense for the faith that you have, is 1 Peter. But do this with gentleness and respect. And so I think that's part of tempering that flame so it just doesn't scorch everybody. And doing it in a way that they can actually receive and maybe take on that flame themselves. So, good thoughts.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, those are the biggest things I'd say to pull for you.
I think so too.
If we wanted to, we could probably talk for a long time.
I think we could. Try to keep it short for Cody's sake. This is when we've done ones that are 16 minutes, and he does a lot of editing. So
that's hilarious.
All right, this is a good thing. Let's walk the path as we become a church that praise, and number two is what we're talking about, becoming a church that spreads the gospel. And I think we're doing that, and the Lord is leading us more and more into that, especially as we continue through Acts. That is a theme that is not going to go away. So if you're tired of hearing it by now, good luck. We're just going to keep talking about it. And so, because we just want to be obedient to the Lord and where He's calling this church. And so with that, thanks for coming on, Jared. And thanks for listening. We'll see you this upcoming Sunday as we start Acts chapter 14.